chaplain, but I follow our Primarch the same as you. The battle is the sermon.
Close enough.
Astartes! We were not expecting such illustrious company in the rear rank.
Favorite game dialogue. Mine is, I lost count, was that 1,000? Okay, so when it comes to great dialogue in this game, there is definitely a lot of favorite lines I've seen. Now, obviously, there's also going to be at least in my opinion, I think the most popular one is going to be the lines from the guardsman, the captain, I think, in Decapitation. Yeah, the Astartes. That is definitely a legendary line. Man, I can't help but ask for more moments like that. It's definitely very cool, pretty immersive as well. And in my personal opinion also, when it comes to dialogue from, the classes, from Decimus, from Straybon, I do think Straybon has the best ones. I think Decimus also has some really good dialogue as well. They all bounce off of each other very well. I think Scipius also has some pretty interesting dialogues. So yeah, we're gonna go into the favorite dialogue of the community. But I think if I was to pick one off the top of my head that isn't, from Decapitation, I do like the standard morale boost. That's definitely a good one. But yeah, just the Straybon saying, engage in standard morale boost for the Emperor. That's a good one. That's definitely a good one. But yeah, dude, let's go into the favorite dialogue of the game. I think we're going to find some really great moments. Straybon, that weapon of yours is the pride of the armory. Decimus, I know. Straybon, good talk. This is a good one. This is always a good one. Whenever this pops up, it's obviously going to be a fan favorite. I think when it comes to lines, it's either going to be from Straybon or Decimus, I think, for fan favorites. Now, I do think it's interesting how even if you play this game for a fair amount of time, some of these dialogue choices they're not really choices. Some of these dialogue situations, happenings. Yeah, whenever these dialogues pop up, it is pretty interesting to kind of like keep a tabs on things that you hear and you don't hear, or that you haven't heard before. I think ultimately though, it's pretty interesting how many times I can hear these over and over and still not get bored of it. Honestly, though, it's probably because it's not very repetitive, right? You're not queuing up with Straybon all of the time. You're not seeing Decimus in every game. But yeah, it's probably going to be a lot of Decimus and Straybon, quotes for favorite dialogues. Yeah, probably. One of my favorite happens during Inferno, if you have a sniper on the team. While the machine spirit of the factory set up the explosive, it will say something to the effect of, work complete, precision 0.0 nanometers, to which the sniper responds with what I interpret as envy. I should get that thing to calibrate my weapon. Okay, that is a good one. No, honestly, see, I don't even know if I've ever heard this before, to be completely honest. Or at the very least, I probably didn't keep tabs of this. See, I do think we listen to the dialogue between the classes a lot, but when it comes to like specific moments during operations where the class actually points out something, that's pretty cool. That's definitely really cool. 0.0 nanometers. That was because it was like perfect, right? That's pretty interesting. But yeah, this Scipius is jealous of the aiming for while the machine spirit of the factory set up the explosives. So yeah, he's just. I should get that thing to calibrate my weapon. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think he's envy. That's fair. He's envious. Must you always wander in front of me when I'm drawing a bead? I get the feed directly from your targeter. Humph. I will have a word with the armory master then. Love Decimus. He's always such a jerk. Okay, now this has to be Scipius to Decimus, right? But no, that kind of, honestly, that's a fair strategy, man. Decimus is simply just using the resources he has. However, I just want to keep in mind that please don't walk in front of people when they are shooting. Definitely can get a little bit annoying. Not to mention, friendly fire is going to happen, so it's always good to point this out, right? Decimus, he's funny here, but man, he's playing with fire when we actually get to damage each other. That's going to be a rough condition, 100%. The only thing better than a chainsword is 2 chainswords. I crave a bloodbath or a blood shower. Decimus the Ghost. Yeah, dude, honestly, I've seen just as much Vanguard Vanguard references as I seen the heavy, which is pretty interesting. But okay, the only thing better than a chainsword is 2 chainswords. I'm not too sure if I ever heard this one, to be completely honest. Like, I definitely heard I crave a bloodbath or a blood shower. This, like, honestly, the reason being is because I'm still a Prestige 2 level 1 Vanguard. I still need some Vanguard time. But yeah, I crave a bloodbath or a blood shower is pretty good. I definitely think he's just, like, kidding, but still, pretty interesting. I mean, it's Decimus, so he might not be kidding. But, yeah, dude, a lot of you guys mentioned this one. The only thing better than a chainsword is 2 chainswords when we're talking about dual wielding. I think this is a pretty funny hint. If the devs end up doing this, it's definitely accident. It's definitely by accident, right? It's just a coincidence. But it would be kind of funny if the devs were just like, man, we knew we were gonna do that. We knew it. Even Decimus knew it. That would be kind of funny. But yeah, this is definitely a good quote, 100%. At the end of Vox Libertist, Demon Host, I will stalk you all your pitiful days. Strabon, warp entity contained, empty threats logged. Yeah, that's a really good one. This is definitely one I have not really registered. Maybe I came across it, but yeah, I think it's the mission specific dialogues that go the hardest. Even though there's definitely some good dialogue across the game, obviously. But when it is specifically talking about something that is happening in the moment, I think it's very cool. But yeah, still, obviously, of course, it's a Strabon dialogue that goes very hard here, dude. Dude, honestly, Vox Libertas is pretty interesting. That whole Demon Host situation, it was very intriguing as a new Warhammer enjoyer. But yeah, now I'm pretty much more interested to see some of the details. But even this game has a lot of details when it comes to dialogue. But I think this is pretty interesting for sure. And yeah, when we see new operations, we will get even more new great dialogue. The heretic scum have been relentless in their attempts to deplete my ammunition. Goes well in a business context as well. Today's customers have been relentless in their attempts to deplete my patience. Yeah, that's a good one. That's definitely a good one. The heretic scum have been relentless in their attempts to deplete my ammunition. Dude, that goes seriously hard. 100%. Dude, this is some of like the best battle dialogue I've seen in any game, to be completely honest. I mean, honestly, also nothing really comes to the top of my head right now as far as, battle dialogues from other game to compare to something like this, but yeah, ultimately, this is definitely a very good line for sure. Scipius, does anything ever dampen that spirit of yours? Valius, never. And I've killed anything that has sought to try. This is a really good tactical line. I think this is my favorite tactical line personally. I just like how, even though everything that we are dealing with, it can be very dark and not in our advantage, I do like the fact that the tactical is still looking for opportunities. That is why it's very cool to, basically just keep that in mind. If you stay focused, no matter how tough something might feel, maybe if you just stay focused and positive, you might be able to find opportunities. You might be able to find openings. If you are negative, you're not even going to be looking because you're already in a mindset that is basically keeping you off the path. You are unfocused. If you are positive and looking for opportunities, you will find openings. I think, obviously, I am kind of expanding it a bit too much, but still, this is why I like that attitude. This is pretty much what comes to mind when I see something like this, even though it's very simple, If you just stay focused, you are going to find opportunities. If you're too busy blaming something else, you're not very focused, are you? You know what I'm saying? But okay, I think that's good. We've read a lot. I think there was a lot of good Decimus lines, but I'm very happy to end this on a Sniper tactical line. I do think Sniper has some pretty good observational dialogues, but some people in the comment sections actually thought it was pretty annoying because it felt like the Sniper was, I don't know, commenting on their gameplay or something. I think that's funny. I think that's kind of funny. But yeah, it seems like everyone loves Strabon and Decimus, and people don't really like Scipius as much, which is kind of interesting. interesting. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you have a favorite dialogue that we have not read here, or if you want to agree with any of the other dialogues we've read here. There's a lot of good stuff here. But yeah, I do think this game has some great dialogue, so it was kind of fun to focus on that a bit, just for some fun. We are getting ready for a patch in a few weeks, so dude, yeah, when it comes to covering everything about the game right now, we are really going to be looking for stuff that may have been pushed under the rug, or maybe there's something in the past that is a bit troublesome that we need to shine a light on again. But we will see. Ultimately, that was always very fun to see something like this, where we're kind of just enjoying the game, enjoying the dialogue, enjoying the little things that we haven't really shined a light on, and maybe these things we're beginning to appreciate more. So it's always fun to do this. But yeah, let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this, and thanks for watching.